Hello everyone and welcome to my new show, What's It Like? Today I have the pleasure of interviewing two fantastic drag queens, Miss Special K and Miss Crystal, known together as the crowning duo, the Squirrels. They've been part of the drag world for many years and have been a duo for 3 years. In 2018, they wowed the judges on the X Factor, Robbie Williams clearly one of their biggest fans, and the girls sang their way to Wembley Arena not once but twice. They entertained the crowd of over 5,000, Robbie giving them a seat in the 6-chair challenge. Since then, they have performed at many prides and gigs, and they've set up the wonderful Glitterland and are currently compiling Loose Ladies, their own show with guests, interviews and song. In my chat with the girls, I'm hoping to find out the highs and the lows of the world of drag. So, what's it like to be a drag queen?
Oh, they're good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Look at you, both absolutely glamorous, gorgeous, gorgeous ladies. Look at you. I've introduced your lovely selves to the people pre this, but I want to ask the questions. Tell me a bit about how you two became drag queens.
Do you want to go first, Crystal?
Oh. Gosh, yeah. To be fair, if we start with you, we'll be here for hours. Do you know what I mean? She's 400 years old. No, I'm joking. Actually, I got into drag because of Special K. I've always been a performer. I was a red coat at Butlins. I was production there. And do you know what? I just fancied something completely different. And my friend Charlotte knew Special K out in the Canary Islands, who was looking for a performer. And flew out there, left my world behind in the UK, and Miss Crystal was born. What about you, babes?
Well, mine was a little bit different. My background was dance. I went all the way through, like Little Boy, Billy Elliot, all the way through. Ended up being in the theatre as being ensemble, went on cruise ships, did all of that journey, and then ended up with the fact of, I'm a bit like Madonna, you know, same age. I'm not the same age. She's 60, so back off. But anyway, I was voicing it and realised that my career needed to change. You know, after a certain point, your sell-by date goes, you know, and everything. So I sort of thought, right, okay, what can I do? Randomly popped a wig on at a Priscilla night and ended up in the Canaries for like God knows how many years, and met all these lovely boys and girls out there and became a drag queen and met Miss Crystal. So there we go. There's the story.
Oh, I think I can tell you're a dancer because you don't stop moving, do you?
No.
So, you know, a bit like S Club 7, you just don't stop moving.
I know. Well, Crystal's sitting down, but I'm standing up. The problem is at my age, if I sit down, I won't get back up again, darling.
What do you think the everyday Joe or Josephine is perceptions are of drag queens?
Well, I think, to be honest with you, I think things are changing. I think, thank the Lord, things are changing since the RuPaul and, you know, the RuPaul experience and all of that. Because it used to be very much in that, because it was very, I mean, for my experience, it was like very up north, very northern, very much in that would be working men's clubs, there would always be. And then we had the lovely Danny LaRue, we had all of that happening, Dick Emery and all the classics that we had, obviously into Lily Savage, who became much more prime time. Ended up on Big Breakfast, had Blankety Blank, all of that. So drag gradually chipped away at people. And I think people didn't see us anymore as being a gay sort of, oh my God, you know. And because we've always been in pantomimes. You know, We've always been there. We've always been ugly sisters. We've always been a wicked some character, you know.
I don't think there's any such thing as ugly queens, actually. I don't believe.
Love you. No, I think things are changing, which is great, but I think things are changing everywhere. You know, very slowly, some very fast, and some places aren't changing at all, you know, which is quite scary. But in our world, things are changing. Anyway, I'm not talking because Crystal needs to say something.
Right.
No, I was just going to say that I think as well, I think nowadays it's not so much seen as you're a man in a frock. It's much more of an expression of art form as well. So you've got you've got cisgendered women that are being drag queens. You've got non-binary drag queens. You've got androgynous. It really has become just an all-encompassing like art form, which is fantastic to think of. Like where Special K was saying, where it's come from and where its origins are. To think about where it is now, like I just can't wait to see where it's going to go next. It's going to be amazing.
What do you think, though, out of the Queen world? What do you think out of the drag world, I should say? What do you think people's preconceptions are of drag artists?
I think there used to be the fact that we were incredibly shallow and that we were quite territorial. You know, we were very much predators. You know, we were not territorial, predators. We would leap on people, we would scare them, you know, we would abuse them. Oh, look at that person in the corner. And we never were that type of queens. We always wanted to be myself. I'd be somebody's nanny, should be somebody's auntie, but we would literally make sure that people felt comfortable. I think the art of being a comic, because I think that is what we chose to move forward to, is that we make people laugh.
Right.
We take I'm going to use the word Mickey, or the fun out of ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Completely. And if we do that first, then we've already done it. You can't hurt us anymore. You can't hurt us. We own everything that you're going to say. But then on saying that, if they decide to have a little bit of a, right, how you doing? You know, you whatever queen, then we've got a microphone. You know, we can certainly look after ourselves.
Well, yeah. So what do you think is the reality of being a drag artist? What's the reality as opposed to what the people's perceptions are? What's the reality?
Do you know, I think a lot of it, it is, as I said, with it being an art form, it's just an extension of who we are as people. So, like, we just put on the lashes, we put the heels and the wigs and things on, and we just, for 2 hours in an evening, we get to go, do you know what? Just forget about everything that's going on in the world, because there's a lot of nasty stuff that goes on, and just come into our little bubble. We'll have a bit of fun, we'll have a bit of a laughter, there won't be anything too serious, and just forget about it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And sorry, Cheryl, I also found that when I started doing drag from being a boy singer, that I could completely become a different character. You know, as an actress,
right.
It's like I always said, somebody said to me, oh my goodness, do you wear like all this at home? You know, do I sit around in stockings? No, I don't. I'm a boy, I'm a man, that's what I do. I'm a guy in a frock. At home, I'm wearing lads' clothes and that's what I do. But this is my job and it's the fun. I'm 7 foot tall when I'm in the full outfit. So I'm quite, you know, hello, how are you? You know, people are, so it's a powerful thing. You have honor, but also what you do is we have so many people coming up to us and asking us, they see us as like a little confidant. You know, sometimes they'll come up and go, oh, well, when did you decide to do this? Or when did you come out? Or when did you we'll always have people coming up to speak to us. And I think that's a lovely thing as well as the entertainment. We're actually quite strong. Mental is a weird word to use, but I think
I think you know, I think agony aunt as well sometimes. Agony aunts, agony nannies, if you want to call yourself. I don't think you're enough to be nannified yet.
That's me, darling.
And so, what do you think, both of you? What has been your crowning moment of being a queen?
Oh, Crystal.
Crowning moment. Do you know? I do have to think, like, because we both were on the X Factor a couple of years ago now.
Performing next at Wembley, it's time to face the music for the Squirrels!
I think to be on Wembley Arena twice and performing and just being up there with your best friend as well, you just have that moment when you're on there and you just look at each other and go, we're on Wembley Arena. And we're performing in front of all of these people. And I think, to me, that just went, do you know what? Wow, how far we've come from a tiny little venue over in the Canary Islands, which holds 100 people, to then take that full journey to be in Wembley Arena in front of 5,000. It's like, wow.
That's incredible, actually.
We felt incredibly privileged to be the first drag group that had got that far in X Factor. And without the fact of them going, but actually they can sing, they're talented. It's not just like a throwaway shallow, you know, sort of like canned thing, which we are, don't get me wrong, but it was nice that we recognised as singers as well.
Yes. I'm thinking that kind of might have changed a lot of perceptions of for people as well.
Yeah.
Having such a big platform or something like that, that would, again, you know, the Danny LaRue's are kind of unfortunately long gone. We need something else now. We need, and I think, you know, obviously with RuPaul, that's catapulted it again.
Absolutely.
But, you know, but it's like we have to see all walks of life wherever we are. And
yeah.
I think you girls did that, didn't you, at that particular time?
We did, and I don't think we realised how powerful we've become. I don't know, it's a big word to use, powerful, but I think we were walking around in gold fishtails, you know, through London. We were getting in black cabs. We were filming everywhere, and there was joy. There was absolute joy of people just going, look at those girls. We couldn't walk in those dresses. I mean, literally was like this.
Hot and long.
The producer and the cameraman were saying, just run up there. Are you having a laugh? I'm skin tight and high heels. It was ridiculous. But there was people were applauding us in the street and just getting the fun.
Yes.
We have such a weird world, especially at the moment, you know, with pandemic and everything like that. Yeah. We need a little bit of joy. You know?
Yes, absolutely. And have there ever been moments when, as a queen, you wanted to give up the throne?
Oh,
lots of times. I think that you, because of the industry that we're in, it's very easy to let that overpower you and to think, oh my gosh, I wasn't good enough for that gig. I wasn't good enough for that gig. I'm not getting a gig here. I'm not getting, and you just think, why am I doing it? But then it just takes that one gig. You could be performing in front of 20 people at a birthday party, and it just goes, do you know what? That's why I do it.
Yes,
That's the reason.
I remember when I said to you, Crystal, and I remember this in my mind, and I always say this to every entertainer that I always meet. I said I was doing a showcase. And it was built up to be this amazing showcase and everything. I went there. There was 3 people in the audience. Right. And my mindset was, well, there's 3 people in the audience. What are we doing? And I went out there and did the act. I did exactly what I would always do. I worked that room. One of those people in that audience was a massive agent who then I got, oh my God, I traveled the world. I literally went on cruise ship. Traveled the world for 5 years. So never ever do a bad gig. I always say to people starting in the industry, please don't do that, because you never know who that one person is sitting in that audience.
No, I totally agree. Totally. So what would you say for anybody who would like to, any advice for anybody wanting to be an aspiring drag queen? What advice would you give them?
Do it. You don't have to go out there and spend hundreds of pounds on a wig, hundreds of pounds on makeup, No, just do it. Go to a local chemist or whatever, get loads of makeup, and do you know what? Just have fun. Put on lashes wrong, put on your makeup wrong, go out there looking like I don't know what, but do you know what? As long as you're having fun, that's all I would say. Do it.
Do you remember when we first started? Oh my Lord, it was ridiculous. I mean, I remember there was a lovely queen called Claire Chanel who was in Gran Canaria, and I walked out to be in one of the shows. One of my very first shows, you could see my stubble through my makeup, and she was an absolute joy. She took me and she went, listen, darling, let me just do this. And she got her makeup, and she covered. And you learn from each other. You have to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you don't evolve, you don't move forward. And also laugh at yourself. You know, okay, don't take life too seriously. At the end of the day, it's lipstick, powder and paint, you know, and just enjoy it. It's fun. And I think there's so many young queens or old queens you could be, I mean, like me, you know, at some point you could turn around and go, do you know what, I just want to pop a wig on, a bit of lippy, you know, or don't shave. How many queens now got beards? Conchita, you know, all of that. Be your own queen, or princess or king or whatever you want to be.
Amazing. That is what wonderful bit of advice for anybody, and it doesn't actually matter what age you want to start putting on that dress or wearing that lipstick or doing anything, is it? It does not matter. If it's something that you want to do at that particular point in your life, then just like you said, Crystal, go ahead and
do it.
Can you explain to me, have you ever made any of your outfits, either of you?
Well, I have attempted to make some things. I've like hot glue gunned fabric to myself, thinking it's an outfit. It wasn't pretty. Special K, on the other hand, oh my word, she is. The things that she can knock up is unbelievable.
And that's just my personal life. No, I'm joking. I've been making costumes since dot. You know, I came from a dance youth club, so we were a council estate group. We literally had, I don't know, people. And this is like Sound of Music, but we were ripping down curtains to make costumes. And it literally was that when you had to make something out of nothing, we were making stuff. And we at one point we had 250 people or kids in this youth club who were meeting up in the council estate every weekend. They were all meeting. We had no money. So it was having to then think, right, I've got a sewing machine. What have I got? Come on, bring in an eider down. Shows my age. Oh my God. But bring in sheets, bring in blankets, bring in anything. And we had the best time. Anyway, it was good. But yes, I make a lot of the outfits and everything. I'm a bit of a sewing bee.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have you ever made any for Crystal?
I have. Crystal did Drag Idol you were in Drag Idol. What year was that, darling?
Last year, 2019.
And I just wanted, because she's my baby, and I just wanted her to have the best costumes ever. And I did message her and went, please let me make your costumes for you. So I made all the costumes for all the heats for her. It was just the most honour. It was brilliant.
It's you two just gel together so well. I mean, I've been lucky enough to sort of have a couple of meetings with you now, and I just and can't wait for this pandemic to go so that I can actually come and see your live stuff. And I think the viewers need to to follow you and to find out. I mean, not literally down the street, clearly, because that would be slightly stalkish.
Depends.
But they need to on your social medias. And find out where you are next, doing your next shows, your next gigs, and I think that they need to come along, because I think it's with you girls, you're guaranteed to have an absolutely fun night, whatever know. And I think that is a credit to both of you, because you seem to work so well together, and you are good friends. Now, having said that, have you ever fallen out?
We're going to be really boring, aren't we, babe?
We actually haven't.
No.
I don't think we ever have even had said a crossword to each other.
No. I think the thing is, with me and Crystal, we've managed to be able to know when somebody's tired, or know when somebody hasn't eaten, or know when somebody's just had enough, and step back. Step the hell back. And also, I sound ridiculous, but being in this industry, we're surrounded by drama all the time. Let's not date anymore. Let's just chill the hell out, And if Crystal needs a hug, or she needs me to back off, or she needs me to be a shoulder, I'll be there, and vice versa.
Yes.
During the whole X Factor thing, where we were literally followed around by cameras, it was constant.
Yes.
And I was holding Crystal's hand so tight sometimes, because it is, what it's like, Cheryl. You are literally under the spotlight constantly. Yeah. And I was very lucky to have my best mate with me, And I
I'll tell you, I would like to see you girls. I would like to take RuPaul a little further, and I'd like to sort of see a real down-to-earth drag queen Big Brother.
Oh,
because
wow.
I think that would be incredible. From the minute you wake up to the minute you, and I've been on Big Brother, so I know the kind of perils and the fantasticness of it. But I would love to see all those transformations. There will be dramas, of course, because there are people who will cause that. But also, I think it would be a fantastic education for everybody to watch, and I wouldn't want it as a program that was like something to go, oh, come on, when are they going to have a cat fight?
Yeah.
I want it to be more of a Big Brother documentary experiment to just see how you transform, or are there parts of your lives where you will be sitting there and looking in the mirror thinking, can't be bothered with that one today, or whatever. And I think a house full would be very interesting to see who. It's kind of like the survival of the fittest, but also the real personalities of people, the true. I think some queens, it would knock them for six.
Yeah.
It would absolutely, they've been put on this pedestal and they're there. And actually, if you took away the trimmings, there's sometimes not a lot.
No, and I think a lot, but not for oneself, but even like when we're tired or when we're feeling vulnerable or whatever, this is armor. This is what we put on. We can take on the world like this. But some people, when they put on the drag, this is when they become the person that they are. And then there's tiny little people who don't want any of this, any of the public eye or anything. I think in a house like that would be amazing. I think it would be really, really good. I think also that what you'd have there is you'd see people, us, out of this and what else we are. Do you know what I mean? And there's lots of stories behind all of us. This is what we,
I've always said when I was in the Big Brother house that, I think what I would love, and this is be the real experiment for me, is not what you guys and girls see out there of the show, but I would love you girls in there to wear cameras so that we can see the conversations that you have with each other.
Yeah.
Because then the one-to-ones that you might have sitting there, eating your bowl of crisps or whatever it is, on the sideboard, or drowning your sorrows in the one glass of wine they might give you. But so and would you sign up for it, you two? Do you think if it would? I mean, looking at the contract seriously, if they offered it to you, do you think you'd go for it?
Me and Crystal, we had this conversation after, because on the 6 chair thing, I always remember I sat there. I remember before we went on for 6 chair, I said, if they vote us off, I'm not going to stand on stage and fight. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to take off my high heels, throw my wig to the floor and go, right, you lot, here we go. I'm not going to do it. I said, I want to leave this stage with dignity and go. So reality TV is really not bitten, but slightly ouch, I don't know whether, but then on something like that, I think it would be quite interesting, but I'd have to go in with Crystal because she'd keep me sane.
Yeah.
I could go in on my own. Honestly,
I think there are duos. Clearly, there are duos, and then there are single entities. It's happened in the past. People have gone in as a one, haven't they? Spidey and all that lot have gone in as a one. So I think it would be possible, but I think it definitely should be a different kind of Big Brother. Much more of a. Let's just see how this works. Honestly, girls, you are amazing. One more last question, the very last question. How did your members of your family react to you becoming drag queens?
Ooh, well, actually, I didn't tell my family that I was going to be a drag queen. Initially, I was over in the Canary Islands for 3 or 4 months before I actually told them. I just told them that I was going to be a male singer abroad, and then gradually they were like, "That, what are you doing out there? Send me some photos of you singing. Send me some videos." And I was going, "Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm so busy." And I sent them a picture of my first. What's that?
I'm a travel rep.
Yeah,
I'm a travel
rep.
Yes.
And literally, when I told them, they were so supportive, and they still are to this day, because I just explained to them. I said, "Look, this is not going to be a life choice. I don't want to transition to be female. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's just not what I was planning on." And they were just so supportive, and they've been to see so many of my gigs, our gigs, my gigs, and even like my whole family.
But is that one of the things that you felt you had to do? Explain what drag was in comparison to a transgender person. Did you have to explain for their fears, for their
I think I was quite lucky, Cheryl. I think I was lucky in the fact that my background is from theatre, and I travelled all the way through Jane. So I played God knows how many characters. You know, I was in Rocky Horror Show. You know, so there was always my dad comes from a very you know, his family were military, and then he was a builder, scaffolder. So like they were a very masculine group of people, and suddenly your son walks down the stairs and like, how do you do? See you. You know, I was in full-on Rocky Horror. And the fact is that because I was always his son, I'd always danced, I'd always sang, I'd always been the man, the boy that I was. The transition wasn't that scary, but it's still weird. I mean, I know it must be weird, but I mean, my mum and dad and brothers and sisters have come to see me all over the world, literally, and in the front going, yeah, you know, and everything, because it's still Kenny singing a Special K. It's still me. Yeah. It's just a character. I could be Mickey Mouse, I could be anybody. I've just put on a bit of a headdress and a frock, you know.
And I think that the explanation side of things, it wasn't so much that I felt that they expected it, but it was me justifying it for me, because I'd never done it before.
Yeah,
right.
And I felt it was something that I had to do. When they were just like that, all right,
whatever.
Yeah.
Joey Fine, Crystal, that was the same as when we came out as gay. It was hilarious. Completely. I mean, I thought it was the biggest secret in the whole world. I mean, not being engaged, don't be shocked to a girl. I was literally about to get married. It was the whole engagement, you know, it was sorry if you're watching, love you, we're still friends. And it was literally like, that was what was going to happen, you know. I was going to walk down the aisle with this beautiful young lady, and that was going to be, and then suddenly it happened, and I just suddenly thought, oh my God, this is not what I want. And when I came out to my family and friends and everything, they went, oh, for goodness sake, we were glad you did, because we all knew years ago.
Right.
In fact, the light bulb moment for us is that moment, but everyone else seems to know a lot.
Yes, we do. That is the point. And this is just, I think this is why I'm so enjoying doing this program, is because I think it's a really big education for everybody watching and viewing this. And can I ask you, because I'm asking questions that I know viewers are thinking.
And
I'd like to ask you, do you have to be gay to be a drag queen?
No. And I absolutely, this is because Britain's Got Talent, wasn't there a guy on there who literally had a wife and kids and everything? It was a drag queen, and she knew, she loved it, it was part of the whole thing. So I don't think so. I mean, it's you're acting, aren't you? You know, it's like reading a script or playing a character, you know. I mean, it is usually, you know, the usual.
Yes.
But I do know quite a few straight drag queens, so yeah.
Amazing. You see, and this is how it works. This is how you educate people to understand each and everybody's world. And that's all we want to do in life. We just want to say, accept what we are, accept what we do, and if you've got any questions, ask.
Exactly. Please just ask.
The only thing that makes people aggressive, the only thing, and I always say this, is because they're frightened. They're scared.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're just frightened. So they bark, they attack. And I always say, if you're frightened of this and you're not sure of it, come and speak to us. You know, speak to us and ask the question. We are not going to hurt you. We just sing and dance and make people laugh. That's what we do. We have no agenda. We don't want to hurt you. And I don't fancy every man in the whole world. I keep on you. You know, your boyfriend and your husband are safe, you know. I think sometimes people think, you know, we walk in a room, we're like, right, every man's a target. It doesn't work like that.
It's preconceptions, isn't it? It's total preconceptions. Yeah. And just one more, and this is kind of a little bit kind of close to my heart, and I'd love you girls to kind of maybe give an answer to this as best as you can. The younger gay straight people who would like to do drag, but they are young and they can't, and there is nowhere to go to explore, to experiment. What should we be doing to help the younger people explore this world? Because I found that when I was trying, you know, to help out members of my family, it was very difficult because they they were too young, and they couldn't go into drag clubs at that point because they were not, because there was alcohol served there, and there didn't seem to be anywhere, even in the major places that you would expect, places like Brighton that are very openly gay and openly, you know, drag, Manchester, all of the major towns did not seem to have anywhere for, say, maybe 13 years up to 16, 17.
Crystal, explain Glitterland.
I know. I was just going to say, it's so strange that you said that, because myself and Special K thought exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
We thought there is nothing out there for the little teens that are wanting to see RuPaul Drag Race stars and all the big acts. So what we actually did is we put on an event for 14 plus, and it was our Glitterland, and we had drag artists, we had queer performers, we had burlesque dancers, and we basically had this whole event that was geared towards the younger generation and the younger population. And it was,
you know, it was...
yeah, we were chatting and we told stories about how we were growing up and stuff. And it just really, because we thought exactly the same thing.
Yes.
We need to do more for the younger people that want to express.
There needed to be a space where they could feel free, they could feel safe, they could literally, and they were what I mean, I love them. They would turn up with all their glitter and all their loveliness, and we were on the door, and it was like, you're safe in here.
Yeah.
You can come in here and dance, you can do whatever you want, you can pop a boa on, or you can just stand in the corner or sit on a chair and just chill out and watch the show.
And I think sorry, go on. No, I was going to say, I think it's really important as well that the families know where. It's better that they know what they're doing, you know, that where they're going, because
we had people coming up to us, mums and dads, and I think there was quite a few of them at the beginning of the night when, well, is there any swearing? What is the content of the show? And things like that. And we said, no, we have tailor-made this show.
Right.
So it's going to be cheeky. And it's nothing they wouldn't see on TV. Let's be fair, you know, I'm not going to suddenly become, you know, sort of like the big censor, but there's not going to be any sort of effing and jeffing and all of that sort of stuff. And also that they need to feel included in it. The joke should be relevant to them.
Right.
What they're going through. They're not going to know who Danny LaRue is, for goodness sake. They need to have a relevant, you know, they can actually connect with us. And also say, this isn't a bad thing. I can bung on a wig and put some lipstick on and makeup, as long as there's a space for me to be safe. And that's and I think us as relatives, parents, friends, and whatever, need to remember that as long as they're safe, let people just express who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. And on that note, ladies, I'm going to say a wonderful goodbye to you, because you are absolutely beautiful, and you are just giving out so much sort of energy and love and education. Actually, education, that is a fantastic word. And I think you girls, you know, like I said before, we must go to follow these people, because they have gone, you know, there's planting little seeds, and in little seeds those big old oak trees grow, and you certainly have done that. And I think it's more than organic what you've done, to be quite honest. I think what you've done is you thought of everybody, you thought of the community, and that is like most important. It's the most important. And is Glitterland going to come back again? Is it a possible ongoing yearly event? Is it something that could grow?
Yeah, well, the project itself was ongoing. We were then going to start before the LD. You know, we were going to start touring Glitterland, and we were going to start going forward with it, because it was very much in the fact of that we were looking at when we did Pride events, the front row in front of the stage was always your teens, who were literally just loving life and just wanted to say, look, this is Hugh, this is me, you know, this is who I am. And I just think that was just finding that space. So yes, Glitterland is a project that we must, and you, Cheryl, you can help us.
I would absolutely love to come on board. And I think what is great is that, you know, it's something you can pass on to others. You can pass it on, can't you? This is something you start, you make it big, and you pass it on to those that come. And that's the way of the world. It's a domino effect. And you girls, if you want any help, I'm here, so I'm sure we can get a load of people on board, and I'm sure they will from now on. So you need to keep your mailboxes open, as it were.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheeky,
Love you, Angel.
Thank you so much. We have the wonderful Special K and Miss Crystal. She's
Thanks, guys.
beautiful. Good night. Good night. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you to my wonderful guests, the Squirrels, aka Miss Special K and Miss Crystal. I think you'll agree it's a fascinating and educational insight into the world of drag. For more information about them and their work, you can catch them on all social media. I want to thank you all for your continued support and for watching this. To find out who my guest or guests will be on the next show, stay informed and updated with my Twitter, Instagram and Facebook pages. Till next time, bye for now.